Well, hello everyone, Texie88 here, and welcome to another review. And now I'm taking a look at Jack the Nipper, which came for the ZX Spectrum, brought out by Gremlin Graphics in 1986. And it's an arcade adventure in which you play the titular character, and you basically got to be a very naughty little boy. Every little kid's dream, right? To be a naughty little sod and get away with it. Okay, maybe not. So basically, what we have here is an arcade adventure in which you try and do as many naughty things as possible, and pick up objects to cause mayhem in various different ways. And there's and the ultimate goal is to try and get 100% naughtiness. So without further ado, let's get the game going. Up and at 'em! So there's Jack in the top middle of the screen. Now the way you jump in this can be a little awkward if you're not used to it. So what you have to do is you can't just press the fire button by itself. You have to press up and fire. And to pick up an object, and you actually press 1 or 2 depending on which inventory slot in the bottom right corner it is. I picked up the pea shooter from the top right shelf there, and press 1, so it's in the first of the inventory slots. Had I pressed 2, it would have been in the second one. And you press left and fire, or right and fire to fire the pea shooter. And often, if you shoot something and hit someone or something and hit it, then it will chase after you, like this ghost is doing. Some ghosts disappear when you shoot them, and at least until you go off the screen and then go back in. But in the case of people and animals, they'll just chase you. And every time a non-playable character touches you, you see that bar with that ruler-like bar below the naughtiometer. Oh no, sorry, not not that one. That actually is your naughtiometer, which you're trying to build up. There's that rash bar in the bottom right corner. Now, if that it builds up every time you touch a person, animal, ghost, or anything like that. Any non-playable character, if you touch them, that rash meter will go up, and if it completely fills up, Jack will get nappy rash and lose one of his 5 lives. So to go through a door, you just stand in front of it and press enter. So quite simple, really. And to start with, you actually need to shoot people like that to build up them. That woman was chasing me because I hit her with the... Quite well, I'd be chased by bubbles is anyone's guess, but you can see the bubbles are following me because I shot them. Yeah, I mean, my naughtiometer is building up a bit. You can only do that for a very small number of times with the pea shooter. After a while, it won't have that effect anymore. But don't discard the pea shooter once you have maxed that aspect out, because like it is, you will still need it, at least for a while. Nice detailed graphics without anything becoming impossible to see. So. And it wraps around after a while. For the most part, it doesn't take long to figure out figure your way around. And generally the presentation's nice. The sort of 3D effect going into and out of the screen works well-ish. I mean, things don't recede into the distance the way they would. That would probably have been a bit much. And you can see there's a key up there. So I've picked up the key. Oh. And the key allows radiators to move about. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to... Oh. I can't touch the radiator because otherwise it'll increase my rash meter. So I've picked up the disc that was behind the... I've picked up the key again. Now I'm going to leave the key here for now. So I'm going to go this way, I think. Does slow down a tiny bit when there are lots of NPCs on the screen, but it doesn't make the game any less playable. It's just, in this instance, it's one of those where it's just more of a nuisance than anything. Ugh. Yeah, and it plays that jaunty little tune every time you... So your dog's following me because I shot him with the... Yeah, it plays that jaunty little tune every time you jump. That can get annoying after a while, but hey-ho. Now, whenever you use you do an item. Whenever you use an item to build up your meter. Yeah, whenever you use an item to do one of the tasks you have to bear in mind that one of the NPCs in that room will, at least one of the NPCs in that room will follow you until you leave the area. And as I said, if an NPC touches you, you're in trouble. I'm going to leave the disc there. Let's go into Hummo Socks. Nice, as I said, nice detail on the graphics in this. Eye bloom. Yeah, another annoying thing that can sometimes happen is that I've just picked up some weed killer. So as I said, another thing that can be annoying that can happen is if you're... Get out of the way. Is if you walk it out of an area and then suddenly you're right next to an NPC and then they can cause your rash meter to increase where you... It's not ideal. So I'm going to show you one of the tasks you do to try and... Now, in this bit, you have to be careful, because what the ghost that I've just shot follows you, and it does respawn when you re-enter the area. And now here's I need to drop the weed killer anywhere on this screen. Now, see, the man's following me. Like I said, once you complete a major task, at least one of the NPCs will follow you until. Will follow you until you've left the area. At least until you've left the area. And some objects you literally. So there are some objects where literally all you have to do is pick them up and throw them on the floor. Yeah, see that. Another way of building up naughtiometer is to smash to drop objects to smash them. That also builds up naughtiometer. You can also do that with objects that you know you're not going to need anymore. Oh, no, that's because I landed on a stove. That builds up your rash meter as well. The shooting with the pea shooter isn't doing. There's nothing in there. You can't go on fireplaces without taking damage from for the same reason. Right, you'll probably recognise this room as it was right next to bollocks. So I've lost a life there. That's the room I started in. Actually, what I could do is pick up that teddy bear off that shelf on the right and drop that. Oh no, I can't. That's the problem. There are some teddy bears that you can pick up. Unfortunately, they do look identical to both the ones you can pick up and the ones you can't pick up look identical to each other. That's one of the few irritations about this game. See, I'm able to pick up that one even though it looks identical to the one that was in the room I just started in. Now that guy with that bespectacled guy is the one who's chasing me. I do like the overall visual style of this. It's got nice cartoony graphics in it, and they really work so well with the cheeky little animation. Oh, okay. That's another bit where it's not clear as to what will harm you. That just looks like a cabinet with a plate on it, so you couldn't understand why it would harm you. Right, that guy with the glasses is following me. Leave me alone, you creep. Oh, see, that's what I was telling you about. Sometimes you can walk into a screen and suddenly you're being harmed by a person who was right next to the edge of the screen. Strangely enough, even a sleeping cat harms you, which doesn't make an awful lot of sense. One good thing is that in the instruction manual, it actually tells you the list of useful items. So you'll have some semblance of an idea of what it's okay to just pick up and drop in order to increase your naughtiometer, and which objects you have to use for a specific task, like the weed killer I did earlier. I think this is where I need to use this battery. Or or cell, as I believe you'd call it if you're in the United States. Oh, damn it! Damn it! Lost another life. Yeah, that battery short-circuited all the computers. And now that guy with the glass, no, that guy with that guy there, which is by me, is following me. I don't somehow think you'd be smiling if I'd done that to your computers, mate. But never mind. I've used that battery now, so I don't need it anymore. So I can smash it. Bear in mind, there are occasional things where you might have to use it in more than one place. Luckily, I know that the battery isn't one of those. So, again, that guy with the glasses is following me. That's going to be annoying because he's stuck that ghosty thing against the door. That's going to harm me. I'll blast you. The hit detections are generally really good. I've not had problems with it. Sort of saying I got hit by something that was miles away from me. There's nothing like that in this that I've never noticed. It's just when you get things like that where you suddenly end up right next to someone who was just off screen. So I'm gonna end the review there. So that's Jack the Nipper for the ZX Spectrum. A pretty enjoyable arcade adventure type game. Graphics, even though they're monochrome for the most part, you do get the occasional use of colour on static things like signposts and the like as you've seen on advertisements on walls and such things like that in outdoor scenes in particular. By and large, it's monochrome, as ever, to get around the Spectrum's colour clash issues. But they have the way everything's drawn just oozes charm. I mean, look at the way they've done those walls. Even simple things like that all add to the charm, and the graphics are nice and detailed, and without being so overly detailed that you can't see what's going on. That's how you do a good balance of detailed graphics and still be able to see enough to be able to play the game. Sound, well, you got the little tippy tappy sound effect whenever Jack's walking, and other sound effects like when he fires his pea shooter, and sound when he uses objects or drops them. So it's not like sound is sparse. So it all works really well and is suitably cartoony and keeps with keeps with the overall aesthetic of the game and adds to its charm. Although some of the notes in the harmony in the music that's on the menu screen, a little bit suspect. I don't know whether that was deliberate to further add to the quirky nature, or whether it was genuinely mistaken. Someone didn't quite get notes correct, but that's the only real complaint I can make about anything to do with the game's audio, especially given the limitations of the 48K Spectrum's audio hardware in the first place. Gameplay, well, if you can get used to the fact that you have to press up and jump, up and fire to jump, or up and left and fire to jump to the left, or up and left and fire to jump to the right, which isn't nearly as bad as it sounds, by the way, then by and large you won't have much problem with the controls. They're responsive, and generally consistent, and when you have to do jumps right from the very edge that of things, that's consistent as well. You can actually go quite some way off. I mean, that I'm now as far as I can go off the right of that counter before I fall off. One more step and I drop. So it's very consistent in that regard. So that's always a big plus. If I had some gripes with with the game's mechanics, it tends to be things like when you suddenly appear on a screen and there's an NPC right next to you that causes you to gain some traction on your rash meter in the bottom right corner. Remember, every time that fills up, you lose a life. As you can see, I've lost 2 lives in this this gameplay, in this review, where you got Jack with a sore bum because of his nappy rash. Well, I read in a review elsewhere that it's due to him having peed his nappy and got the nappy rash. I don't know. It could also be corporal punishment from having been so naughty. But either way, the picture of Jack with a sore bottom is a loss of life. When all 5 of them are with a sore bottom like that, then it's game over, and that's when you get your final verdict on how well you did. Yeah, so I'm just going to show you the end screen. So that's why I'm deliberately letting this woman, cause me some grief. See, she's following me because I shot her with the pea shooter. So you get that, and so you'd get that naughty, slightly misspelt naughtiness, and the percentage of how well you did. As I said, your ultimate goal is to try and get to 100% naughtiness. So this is, and some of the puzzles might be a little bit on the obscure side, and it's not always immediately obvious as to what some objects are. I mean, luckily you've got the instruction manual telling you some of the ones that you need to do actual tasks, so at least it's not totally vague. But there are 1 or 2 where the visual appearance might not be too clear. But other than those little niggles, that I can't really complain about the game. What it does well, and it's a fun little romp, and it's surprisingly escapist, playing as a kid who's trying to be as naughty as possible. Not that I condone that kind of behaviour in real life, obviously. But this is just a game, and let's keep that kind of thing in a game like this. So I'm going to rate Jack the Nipper for the ZX Spectrum 8 out of 10. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that review. Catch you on another one soon. Texie88 out.